विषय निवेद्य तत्क्रिया नास्ति तत् द्रव्यं यदत्वा ऋणनुरि भवेत्. The shloka proves significance of a teacher. Even in the oldest times, teachers always go above and beyond to ensure that the quality of education remains intact. With this zeal and enthusiasm, I, Deveshwari Naidu from ACM India Council, welcome you all to the second day of the event, third conference on computational thinking in school. Before we start the program, there are a couple of announcements. All participants, please note this. You are using the same Zoom link throughout the 4 days of the conference, and kindly do not share this link with others. In case you drop off and are unable to join the conference on Zoom, please join us on CSpathshala YouTube link for joining it. And as this is an online event, certain norms come with the use of technology. So each session of the conference will begin promptly at the scheduled time. During the call, participants can submit their questions using the Q&A feature available in Zoom. The session chair will convey the audience questions to the speakers. The certificate for the participation will be sent after the conference. We are going to facilitate you the feedback link at the end of the conference, and those who will be submitting this feedback form will be getting the certificates. Today, we shall be witnessing welcome you to the third conference on computational thinking in school. We'll be shortly beginning with our program. Stay online with us.
Geeta, maybe we can stop the music for a second and check that screen. Hello.
Good afternoon. Supriya, would you like to share your screen and check it once?
Manohar is here as well.
Okay, Manohar, yeah.
Hi, actually, Raji, I think Vineet knows. Raji has to be given permission. She has to share this first screen.
Give me a second. Yeah.
Raji and Devi require permission.
Raji and Devi, right?
Devi, yeah.
Yeah.
Join as panelist then, I think.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi Manohar, is it some 5 a.m. or something for you? I mean,
hello, hello.
Dr. Manohar, you're not able to hear us? I think he's not able to hear us.
Okay, good. I am not able to hear you, but I think let me just make sure I've selected the right one. That's it. Oh. Hello, hello.
hello, can you hear us?
No. Yes. Okay, good.
Okay. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Meenakshi. Just checking in if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you.
Supriya?
Yeah, Sunny.
So we can check the share screen and then start with the introduction.
Okay. Raji? Raji, there? Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm here, Supriya ma'am.
Okay.
I'll just share.
Can you?
Yes, I think it looks good.
Sonia, is that all right?
Yeah, it's good. Thanks.
So should we keep it at this or we'll bring back the sharing later?
Yeah, you can.
If it's easier this way, let's keep it at this.
Yeah, we can keep it actually. We just have a short welcome and then we can have to put the message.
Sure.
Yeah. Over to you, Devashri, for the day.
Ekamya aksharam yastu guru shishye nivedya Tviya nasti tad dravyam yaditva lunaluni bhavet. The shloka proves significance of a teacher. Even in the old age time, teacher always go above and beyond to ensure that the quality of education remains intact. With this zeal and enthusiasm, I, Deveshri Naidu, on behalf of ACM India Council, welcomes you all to the second day of the event, a third conference on computational thinking in school. Today, we shall be witnessing a workshop on visual empowerment project in the area CT and inclusion. This will be conducted by two eminent speakers, Supriya, co-founder, Vision Empowered Trust, also a research associate Digital Identities Project, IIIT, Bangalore. We also have with us Mr. Manohar Swaminathan, Principal Researcher, Microsoft Research India. The workshop will be conducted in two sessions, followed by Chai Pe Charcha. So, to begin with today's program, I now request our session chair, Professor Meenakshi D'Souza, IIIT Bangalore, to please welcome our speaker. Over to Meenakshi.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure to be a part of the Computational Thinking in Schools conference, and also to introduce the two eminent speakers for today. Supriya, I've had the good fortune of knowing Supriya for the past about 4 or 5 years, when she quit her long career in IT industry to pursue a master's degree in IIIT Bangalore in IT and society. And post her master's by research, Supriya, along with another alumna from IIIT, co-founded an organization called Vision Empower, where they focus on developing technologies for the visually impaired. Supriya is also a founder of Wemby Technologies, co-founder of Wemby Technologies, which makes assistive technologies for students with visual impairment. Do check out their website. They have an exciting device and a lot of software-driven technology solutions. Supriya, before joining IIIT Bangalore and moving on to working with visual impairment, if I know it right, probably has close to 2 decades of experience in the corporate industry, long-term veteran at Wipro Technologies. And we're glad that she switched over her career path into doing something that was going to be very useful for all of us. Welcome, Supriya. Looking forward to your session. Manohar Swaminathan, I think I've had the privilege of knowing him as a young doctoral student when he was a professor at the Indian Institute of Science. And I think from being an academician to being a startup founder to bringing one of the earliest handheld devices to India, and then followed by another exciting startup, Strand Life Sciences, he's now moved on into working at Microsoft Research India, where his research focuses extensively on accessibility, specifically on accessibility as it is going to be used through a play kind of approach. And Manohar Swaminathan is also the founder and co-convener of the Center of Accessibility for Global South, which is hosted at IIIT Bangalore. And again, I've had the good privilege of sitting on those meetings when CAJS, as we call it, was literally in the womb and getting originated. And we look forward to a lot more exciting activities coming out of the Center for Accessibility in the Global South. So it's a real privilege to have Manohar Swaminathan here, an eminent researcher, talking about us on accessibility. Over to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Dr. Manohar, do you want to just welcome everybody? While I think Devi Datta Ghosh will require to be elevated. I told her to change her name to September 30th. Devi, I'm not sure if it's done.
But in the meanwhile, welcome everyone. I'm so happy to be a part of this fantastic conference and event. And thanks very much to the organizers for giving us this opportunity to share our work on computational thinking. This has been a work that's going on for about 3 years, trying to start early with computational thinking, like all of you are doing in mainstream schools. We are trying to take the CSpathshala curriculum and resources to children in schools for the blind. We have started in a small way in Bangalore, and then we are reasonably going forward. And this is the time then when JAM, as I call Professor Ramanujam, we interacted about the excellent work that is being done in CSpathshala, and we are excited to share our work, which we believe is useful across the board. And as we go forward in the workshop, you will get a sense of what we are doing. And the main point I want to make before I hand over to Supriya and Tim is to invite all of you. This is a real workshop, not just a presentation, but this is also just a start of hopefully a long collaboration between all of you and what we are trying to do, and to take the play-filled approach to learning to children across the country. So over to you, Supriya. And
Manohar,
yeah.
would you mind? I would like to add something
Please. No,
very
not at all.
important,
That'll be
which
welcome.
often gets missed. So if you don't mind my saying,
No, not at all. Please go ahead.
that when we in general think of any curriculum pedagogy for visually impaired or children with disabilities, very often the point gets missed that almost all these tools apply across the board for all children in all schools. And so, yesterday I remember some people were asking about today's workshop, and are asking about, is it computational thinking for the visually impaired? Now, I think this is extremely important that I personally, have worked with children, visually impaired children in the context of math education, and I found that this was learning that was very important for math education per se. So I would say that all of us will learn in all contexts from workshops like this. So I want to add that word of welcome to you all for this and for taking up this wonderful workshop. Thanks very much. Sorry for butting in. If you don't
mind. No, please. That was really welcome. Thank you. Yeah, over to you.
So welcome one and all to this workshop on VICT, call it VICT, Computational Thinking for Students with Visual Impairment. So we'll begin today's session with an icebreaker. So we have with us two of our education coordinators, Devi and Raji. Would you take over Devi and Raji and engage with them?
Yes. Sure, Supriya ma'am. Before we start with the icebreaker, can we go for a small poll?
Yeah, please go.
Yeah. Participants,
let us know.
Yeah, participants, this is a small poll which will be conducted in Mentimeter. You will be getting the link to join the poll in the chat box, requesting everyone to click the link and join the poll and give your valuable answers.
Have you posted?
Yeah, I think it's coming now.
Yeah.
Please click on the second link, menti.com. That's the.
The question is on the screen. Which state are you from? I'm sure everybody has joined the link.
Sorry to interrupt, just to help the organizers, you have to click on the link or you can visit menti.com and type the code. There's an 8-digit code. If the link doesn't work, you could try that.
Yes, Raji, you can read out the code as well.
Yeah, the code is 22668057.
I think, do you want to continue with the questions, Raji?
Yeah. Is it Okay, I'll go on to the next question because I didn't see any answers. Is anyone finding difficult?
Oh,
Yeah. I think
Everyone finding
maybe
it difficult for logging in?
Is also possible to go back to the first
only
question?
one question.
This
No,
is
no.
the first question, sir.
First question. Yeah. Okay. Good.
So
So
you
let's.
can, people have answered. Are you sharing your Menti screen, Raji?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
Okay.
we are not getting, at least I'm not getting this question. I'm getting
Yeah, I'm getting the
favorite
childhood game.
game.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm also
Yeah,
getting
even I'm
that.
getting the childhood game question.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me
Yeah,
just. Sorry
I'll
for
go to
that.
slide.
Requesting
Yeah,
you all to
go to slide. There
refresh.
is a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
Okay, so these are the states that people are from: Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, all over the country.
All over the country.
Right, yeah. Thank you so much. Go ahead, maybe with the name. Meghalaya, wonderful. That's my home state.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next question.
Yes.
What language are you most comfortable speaking?
Tamil, Hindi, Telugu. So all of you, all your mother tongues, right?
Marathi, Hindi, English.
Right. Awesome. Everywhere again from across the country. Lovely to be in this where we have people from everywhere. The virtual made it possible. Go ahead, Raji.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question. What was your favorite childhood indoor game? Participants, I'm sure there's not only one, it might be many. So the options are open for multiple answers.
One per line, I think, right? So,
I spy. Oh, see, the number of games are huge. Yeah. I know this. And each one comes in its own, form, right? Hide and seek of different types, right? Nice. This is lovely. So many. Clearly, chess is a winner because it's like really big. Ludo, Carom. These are the three leaders: chess, Ludo,
That's
and
fine.
Carom. Yeah.
Snake and
And
ladder.
also participants are answering in the chat
Chat
room
as
also.
well. Yeah, Kabaddi, Gulli Danda, that's gone to the outdoors. Somebody has got the
Okay.
outdoor question as well. Maybe we should just move on.
Okay, yeah, I'll just move on to the next question. Thank you, participants.
Oh, it's already there. You have a whole bunch. And cricket is the clear winner in India. Yeah. Oh, nice to see. Badminton and yeah. Wow. Lovely. We have a whole bunch of answers now. Yeah. Want to
Okay,
move
I'll
on?
move on to the next question. Can children with blindness play your favorite games?
Raji, there's a
Yeah, that
Good to see the answers trickling in. Clearly, many people are in the maybe slot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So almost 55% of the participants feel maybe, 25 no, and 20 yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe is getting more votes. Okay,
And also like 26% totally feel it's no.
No.
Cannot. Yeah.
Thank you, participants.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, participants, for your active participation. Now we'll move on to the next part of the session, next part of the today's session. It is a small icebreaker activity. For this, I would request my colleague Devi to join me to conduct the activity.
Yeah, Devi is
Devi,
there.
you're there?
Yeah, Devi is already there.
Yeah. Shall we start, Devi?
Yes.
Yeah, Devi.
Yes. Yeah. Before we start, I would like to, wish my friend and Raji a very happy birthday because it's her birthday. And I want to wish Raji. Raji, can you hear me?
Yes, Devi, I can hear you.
So Raji, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. May you have a wonderful day and a wonderful year ahead. And, I have lots of gifts and surprises for you. So would you like to have all that?
I would like to have all your surprises, gifts and wishes, but a small correction, Devi, it's not my birthday today. My birthday is not today.
Really?
No, it's not today.
Uh-oh.
But thanks for your wishes,
when is
and I'm
your
waiting
birthday?
to get the gifts and surprises. But that is not so fair. You missed my birthday, or you
I'm
got
so
confused
sorry,
with my
Raji. Can you
birthday.
please tell me your birthday? Then I'll for sure I'll send you the gifts and surprises to you. But when is your birthday? I completely missed it.
Okay, so since you have missed my birthday, I'm not going to directly tell your birthday. I'm going to play a small guessing game. Okay, I'm going to give some clues to guess my birthday. Let me see if you get it. Then I think you'll also get a return gift from me.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure participants would help me.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, if you're ready to share the return gift, they'll be ready to help you. Participants, please help Devi in guessing my birthday. You can use a chat box to give your answers. Okay, so to start with, Devi, first let me give a clue to guess my birthday month.
Okay.
Okay, so the birthday month is an odd number.
Odd number. Okay, so we have January, March, May, July, September, and November.
Yeah, okay, 6
so
months.
Which one is it? Yeah, 6 months.
Okay, you want to take any help from the participants? Let me see any participants have guessed it. Okay, so out of the 6 months, which one do you think, Devi?
I am kind of little confused now that I forgot your birthday. So I'm not sure, is it May or July or when is it?
Okay, so to get the month for sure, the correct one, let me give you one more clue. I think this will help the participants also to guess it right.
Yes,
the order of the month and the number of letters in the month are the same.
So is it 9? The 9th is September is the 9th month and it has 9 letters in it. Am I right?
Yes, Devi, and I think Chinmay and Supriya, many people have given the answers now. September, yes.
So your birth month is September. We are in September. So, what is the date then?
For the date, again, let me give you some clues. Okay, so the clue is it's a prime number between 20 and 30.
A prime number between 20 and 30. So is it 23 and
I see many say 23 and 27. 27 is not a prime number.
27 a prime number or 29? 23 or 29?
Yeah, it's either 23 or 29, but it cannot be both the days. Which one?
Yeah, correct. So I think okay, I'll give you more gifts, Raji. Please tell me what it is.
Okay,
or give me
so
another
let
clue.
me give you. Okay, let me see who is going to give the right answer, either you or the participant. To get the number, you will have to solve an equation now. Okay, so the equation is, if you add square of 5 and square of 2, you get this number.
Square of 5 is 25.
There are many answers, Devi, on this chat already.
So it's 29. So
Yes.
there are people who are calculating faster than me. So is it
Yeah.
29 September?
Yes, it is 29 September and it was
Oh,
yesterday.
Many.
Yes.
Okay, Raji, please don't mind. I will give you lots of surprises next year for sure.
Yeah, you just missed my birthday by a day. Thank you, Devi. Over to
Thank you, Raji. Dear participants, what we did just now, it's a small demo of a game which we call as birthday game. So it is about guessing the birth date and birth month, which children find it very exciting, especially if they don't know their birthdays. In case if the group is already aware of their birthdays, the dates can be changed. It can be any other date. It can be a random date, or it can be any event or any important date in the calendar, and children can play this game. And all these games are very flexible. That means you can change according to the level and the age group of the children. So we have played these games with children and we have modified and customized based on their level and age group. And in this game, we have used the concepts of odd numbers, prime numbers, and simple arithmetic like squares and cubes and equations. So all these concepts can be used in the game. So I hope you have enjoyed this game. Moving on, we have one more icebreaker, and this time we have a few volunteers with us who will play the game with us. So I will explain the rule for this next icebreaker game, and it is called the multiples game. So how do we play this game? So we are going to call out some random numbers, a few random numbers one by one, and each number is associated with an action. So the number could be a multiple of 2 or 3 or 5. So if it is a multiple of 2, the action would be just one clap. If it is a multiple of 3, so we just scratch our head with both the hands. If it is a multiple of 5, then you can just pull your cheeks with both the hands. So, and there could be some numbers which could be a multiple where there could be 2 multiples of that number. So you have to think quick and show us the action. So are the volunteers ready?
So we show all the actions for the numbers, Devi.
Let's see, let's find out.
Okay, so if it is not a multiple of any, then what do we do?
Let's see what our volunteers do that. We'll find out.
Okay. Okay, can we
Let's
have the
play the game
volunteers
and
on the
Raji would
screen?
call out the numbers. Yes.
Yeah, I can see Swati ma'am, Sunita ma'am, Sylvia ma'am, Sonia ma'am, Supriya ma'am. Yeah, Jaya ma'am. Okay, we start. Okay, participants, ready? Okay, so let me start with the easy number. The first number is number 22. Good. Okay, so the next number is 18. That's nice. Okay, let me move on to the next number, 27. Okay, 2043. Yeah, so Manohar said that's correct. Huh? Okay, now number 30. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so it was clap, scratch, and pulling your cheeks. Yeah, all three, because it was multiple of all three numbers. Okay, 67. Sir, no clap. Why are you clapping? Oh, no, 67 doesn't come in any.
No actions.
Okay. Thank you so much, participants. Hope you enjoyed. Over to you, Supriya ma'am.
Thank you so much, Raji and Devi. I'm sure all of you have taken this trip down memory lane by now. Yeah. So each time we play these games with teachers, it doesn't matter how many times we play, and I sure do go down memory lane, and back to sweet memories of fun-filled childhood, leisure, especially holidays. With the slightest idea that we were learning something. It's fun. So yeah, before I go on to the next, I hope all of you have at least one pen or pencil and a paper next to you. So maybe you might require it at some point in time for future activities. Okay, so now to give you a very brief background before we start off with the whole thing. So the VICT project, Computational Thinking for Students with Visual Impairment, was initiated in 2018 at Vision Empire. So we were incubated at CTiS2021 Bangalore in 2017. The idea was to research and facilitate accessible STEM learning for children with visual impairment. Now, this was still and is still what is called a wicked problem, right? No one easy, straightforward solution. So students with visual impairment barely get a chance to study science and math. We've given them a raw deal over there. So to give you an idea, in Karnataka, out of the documented 45 schools for the blind, we found one school where these subjects are offered up to grade 10. The rest of them stop at 7th grade. And this is pretty much true almost throughout the country. So while we started with science and maths, but it was under the mentorship of Dr. Swami Manohar that we started looking at computational thinking in 2018. So we recognized at that time the huge effort, and it was Dr. Manohar who introduced us to the CSpathshala curriculum. And we recognized how much work had already been put in towards CT. And the next phase of Vision Empower activities began over there. And it was around ensuring that the children that we were working with who had already sort of missed the STEM bus, did not miss the CT bus as well, and the pun is totally intended. Okay, so now before we engage in some more play, now I'd like to visit some of what you all already know. Okay, you live and work with it every day, what is on the screen. So let's just take a peek into it to set the context of our work. Okay, because the question that we need to start with is why do we do it? Why VICT, right? So as all of you know, these are the themes of the CT curriculum from ACM, and you have systematic listing, counting, reasoning, and so on and so forth. And the first 5 of these, that is barring programming and digital literacy, the first 5 are covered up to grade 5, right? So in today's workshop, let's just pick up 3 areas from these, okay, and take a deep dive a little bit into these 3 areas, which are systematic listing, counting, and reasoning, iterative patterns and processing, and information processing. And so this will give you a little bit of better idea about our work, the work at Vision Empower and Microsoft Research. So in the following slides, actually, I have some activities which from the existing CT lesson, and I'm going to read out those lessons to you. But before that, I want to request you for something. I want to request all of you for a moment to close your eyes, yeah, and request you to please keep them closed till I ask you to open. Okay. Don't worry, it will be brief, right? And I will read out the activity from the slide. And yeah, no cheating, okay? Don't open your eyes. And those who can answer may unmute if possible, those who have the permissions, and answer if possible, if you can answer without seeing. And I hope everyone is ready for the activity, right? Okay, now all eyes closed, ready? Okay, Raji, go to the next slide. So I'm going to read out. How many squares do you see? How many squares have black dots in them, in circles? How many squares don't have any dots or circles? Okay. Next question. Count some more. Let us see what else is there in the farm. Can you tell how many bananas are there in the box? How many bananas would be required to make it 20 in all? Next question. What comes next? Let us play a simple game and understand more about patterns. All you have to do is guess the image in the blank box. Simple. Let us start. And the final question, circle the objects. Green circles for kitchen objects and blue circles for classroom objects. Okay, done? Okay, now you can open your eyes. Okay, so looks familiar, right? I'm sure, because many of you have been teaching and you know these slides in and out. Now the thing is, this is not new in C. This is not new in the curriculum created by CSpathshala. This is a common characteristic in all curriculum, especially STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You can take any textbook in any children's literature or reference book, and because we know that a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? We just assume that this will work for everyone, right? But in the process, we become a little oblivious of the needs of persons with visual impairment, right? So we'll go quickly through some more lesson content, and you don't worry, you don't have to close your eyes. Just to appreciate that this is throughout. So say in counting and reasoning, you have how many gray dots are here, and then you have which is this animal, and then how far can you tell how many are there, and then what do you see? I see blocks. What is the shape? Yeah, and then go on to the next slide, Raji, and then and then we are expecting children to be able to see the dots and draw the lines or recognize the shape. So this is something which is common, throughout the thing. But at this point, let me tell you why we displayed this, right? This was not intended to show you that, what a dead end we hit and, for all of us to go on a guilt trip. And that was not the idea. Yeah, so let's do something and we'll figure where the challenges really are. So, okay, so now I hope all of you have a pen and a paper or, something next to you with which you can write. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to do this activity. Can you please again close your eyes? Okay. Close your eyes, and on the paper which you have next to you, use your pen and draw a heart. You know how children draw hearts on the school tables everywhere, right? Heart. They even draw an arrow to it and all. So you can draw a heart with your eyes closed, remember, okay? Tell me when you're done. With your eyes closed. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Yeah, done? Everyone is done with drawing a heart? Okay, now you can open your eyes and see what you did. You don't have to worry, you open your eyes and see what you did. Okay. Now, you can close your eyes. Close your eyes again. Now I'm going to give you some instruction. You can put your finger on the paper, the same paper where you draw the heart. Take another sheet or behind the same page. Just put your finger on the paper. Okay. Now take your pen and bring it to where your finger is on the paper. Okay. Now start drawing your heart exactly at that point. Start drawing your heart there. You draw the heart in such a way, go all the way around, draw your heart and come back and stop exactly where your finger is. You know where your finger is on the paper. So you start drawing your heart, draw the whole heart and come back and stop exactly where your finger is. That is where you began. Okay. And you're all done, I suppose. Okay, now I hope you're all done. Now you can open your eyes. Okay. So now you must have quite a revelation, right? So now let's take a small poll. Raji, shall we get the poll? Yeah. So the question is, were you able to draw the heart with your eyes closed? Can we have your answers? Yes, no, partially. Again, you need to go to the menti.com and use the code, or you can click on the link and just go and answer. Yeah. So far, it's like 1/3 of people now, certainly partially. Okay. So with your eyes closed, okay. Oh, good. More than 50% have been able to draw with their eyes closed at the first shot itself. Okay. Okay, without instructions, right? This is without instructions. Okay. Okay. Great. So yeah, so a large number percentage could draw even here. Now let's maybe move on to the next question, Raj. Now, were you able to draw the heart better after the instruction was given? Okay. So after the instruction was given, clearly a larger number have been able to draw after getting the instructions. Okay. Okay. That's right. Okay. Great. So I think you know that's sort of a revelation that what we just learned. So yeah, what we just learned is that given the right instructions, or at least some instructions with nothing at all, people with blindness can perform many tasks which, as sighted people, we think they cannot do, right? So with this perspective in place, now let's look at the numeracy skills we cover through the curriculum, right? So you're again familiar with the skills that are covered in the ACM CT curriculum, and you have them on the screen right now. Of course, in addition to the CT curriculum, when we actually implemented it, we also looked at some other, because the basic skills that are required for CT, as you have clearly demarcated within your curriculum also, is that you have numeracy as the foundational skill, right? And so for numeracy, we also referred to like the fonts or NCF 2005. And so this is a slightly extended list of numeracy skills, which we have included through our games. So basically, these are the skills which we will come back to later when we are looking at the activities. So now our task was to make the curriculum accessible. But what does that really mean, right? So basically, we needed to achieve these numeracy skills, right? Now, how? So we had to explore, and we actually have a whole session after the break where I will tell you how we went about it. Okay. But at this moment, let's do something more interesting instead of just listening to me. So relax a bit, sit back, and the way the next few moments you're going to spend is that we're going to demonstrate to you certain videos of children actually playing, actually working with us. And you need to identify, after seeing the children play, which of these skills the children have picked up through the game, right? So you will see the videos, and these videos are in the local languages of the children. They are all talking in their local languages, but we have English subtitles. So I hope that will be okay for you. So we begin with card game 0, which is comes under the theme of systematic listing, counting, and reading. And yeah, Raji, you can play the video.
ಇವಾಗ 5 ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. 5 ಜನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ವಿನ್ನರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸರಿ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರೀಗ?
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಐಶಾ, ನಾನು ಗಾನವಿ, ಐಶಾ ಮುಗ್ದಿದೆ. ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾ, ಸರಿ, ಆಯ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೈಷ್ಣವಿಂದಾನೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ ವೈಷ್ಣವಿ, ನಮಗೂ ಸೇರ್ಸಿ ಹೇಳು.
ಚಿಕ್ಕ ನಂಬರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್. ನೀವು ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಡೋಣ. ಮಿಸ್, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗೇಮ್ ಆಡೋಣ.
ಓಕೆ,
ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಚಿಕ್ಕ ನಂಬರ್ ತಾನೆ? Okay.
ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫೈವ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಸ್.
ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು ಕ್ಲಬ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ 10.
ನಿನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಏನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ? ಕ್ಲಬ್ 2 ಇದೆ. ಐಶಾ ನಿನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾವ ನಂಬರ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಏನು? 6 ಕ್ಲಬ್. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 8 ಸ್ಪೇಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಕಾಣವಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ.
Yeah, now we move on to, so the cards were actually, these were the cards designed by the team and what you saw the children play with, special tactile cards. Now we move on to the tactile board games. Yeah.
Okay, start Ashok.
4 मैम. मैम ladder में दीदी मतलब तो
मैम 1 number, 2
Yes.
number, 3 number, 4.
repeat पे मैम.
Yes, Ashok. Oh, one more ladder.
Yes मैम.
Go up.
मैम
हाँ ಎರಡು ಹಾಕೊಂಡೆ 2 1 2 very good.
Oh, 50.
50 ನೋಡ್ರಿ
ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಬಂತು
ladder.
ಅಶೋಕ್, ರಾಮು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡದು. ನಾವು ಯಾವ ನಂಬರ್ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವ್ನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? 93 ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ.
6 ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಯಾವ ನಂಬರ್ ಬಂತು ಅಶೋಕ್?
1 मैम.
ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
ನಾಲ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ವಿನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ.
Yes.
So that was one, and then you can see a demonstration of another one here.
Okay.
ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಪ್ಪಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀಯಾ ಅಶೋಕ್?
The teachers fighting for her turn.
ಯಾರನ್ನ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ವಾ?
मैम ನಾವು 3 ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ 6 ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಹಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು.
ಏನಂದ್ರೆ 6
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಶೋಕ್. ಅವನೇ ನನ್ನ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ.
వచ్చి బాగా నమ్మి వచ్చినా ఓ ಬಿಡುವಾಗಪ್ಪ
ನಂದು
ಇಲ್ಲ 2 ಬಿದ್ರೆ 5 ನಂಗೆ
5
ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿದು
1 2
4 ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ
4 5
ನಾನು 4 ಬಿಡು
4 1
Okay, now we move on to the next game, which is pebbles and counting. So after this, we'll have a poll, so you can see how the children are playing with pebbles online.
എല്ലാരും എല്ലായിട്ടും ആ വലിയ പാത്രത്തിലേക്ക് അതിട്. റെഡിയാണോ എല്ലാരും? ഓക്കെ റെഡി. ഓക്കെ എല്ലാത്തിനും എന്തൊക്കെ ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്? കടല പയറ് ഏലക്ക. കടല പയറ് ഏലക്ക. ഓക്കെ പയറ്. എല്ലാരും 5 6 വെച്ച് 3 പാത്രത്തിലോട്ട് സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം എല്ലാ ഐറ്റവും. അതിനാലേ 5 ആണോ 6 ആണോ? 6. ശരി. ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ 1 2 3 സ്റ്റാർട്ട്.
Counting away, sorting and counting.
എല്ലാരും സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യാ. ഫിനിഷ്. അത് പറ്റൂലല്ലോ.
Not allowed.
എല്ലാരും സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യണ്ടേ?
So yeah, I'm sure you would have enjoyed seeing them and see how the children clearly enjoyed, right? So we'll take a poll now, like I told you. So the last game was a pebble counting game. So let's just take a poll. Raji, can we go to the Menti and the question will come up and you can answer within 30 seconds, right? Yeah. So the question is, which of these learning areas were covered in the pebble sorting and counting games? So I hope you can see on the screen, it's a little tiny. Number recognition, quantity discrimination, positioning and locating patterns, systematic counting, discrete modeling. Okay. So answers are coming in. Yeah. Okay, the percentage is higher in systematic counting, number recognition. Okay, nobody feels this can be used for discrete modeling clearly. Okay. 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 Okay, Raji, you want to go with after 30 seconds? Yeah. Okay. So clearly, you can see that the correct answers were number recognition, quantity discrimination, and systematic counting currently. But I'm sure, like others who have answered in the other areas, I'm sure there are reasons why you're saying, and I'm sure we can actually use this game to learn those skills which you have identified as well. And there will be ways to do it, and that is why we need to talk to you. So great. So now this was about systematic listing and counting. Now let's go on to the next area, right? So the next theme is going to be iterative patterns and processes. Now again, it's entertainment time. Now you can watch some children play and recognize shapes and patterns, and let's see what we can do after that, and patterns of various kinds. Yeah.
A चतुर्भुज, B
त्रिभुज, C गोलाकार.
हमारा A चतुर्भुज, B त्रिभुज, C गोलाकार.
So the shapes that we are using are created after we gave instructions to them and their parents, and they created it at home.
चतुर्भुज, त्रिभुज, गोलाकार, चतुर्भुज, त्रिभुज, गोलाकार, चतुर्भुज, ना गोलाकार, चतुर्भुज, त्रिभुज, गोलाकार, चतुर्भुज, त्रिभुज.
CAB.
CAB. है.
You guess the pattern. Right? Yes.
चतुर्भुज, चतुर्भुज, गोलाकार, त्रिभुज, गोलाकार, चतुर्भुज, गोलाकार.
हाँ
त्रिभुज गोलाकार
A
हाँ
B B C
listen now
और
oh that
चतुर्भुज
हाँ
चतुर्भुज त्रिभुज
हाँ
त्रिभुज गोलाकार
চতুর্ভুজ গোলাকার তারপরে গোলাকার ত্রিভুজ চতুর্ভুজ গোলাকার ত্রিভুজ গোলাকার
Yeah, I think he was confused himself.
A C
হুম
B C
হুম হ্যাঁ
আমি পাঁচটা বলছি হ্যাঁ
হুম।
চতুর্ভুজ গোলাকার ত্রিভুজ চতুর্ভুজ গোলাকার
You can see how they're getting more
গোলাকার
aggressive and
আবার
ambitious.
আবার কি আবার
চতুর্ভুজ
হ্যাঁ
গোলাকার ত্রিভুজ চতুর্ভুজ গোলাকার
ওরে, আচ্ছা
ঠিক আছে
হ্যাঁ এ সি বি
A C
এবারে এ সি
এই দেখ
এ সি বি সি
হ্যাঁ তুমি A C B এবারে নিজে তুই নিজে করে স্যার A C B
আমি তোরটা কইছি
Okay. So moving on now, this is again a patterns game, and you can see how the children are using body percussion, sounds to play this game online.
Please join all. Today we have to play game bomb BD bomb. Game is clap. Bomb is snapping. And reading is eating tight. Bum bum bidi bidi bum bidi bum bidi bidi bum bim bum. Bum bidi bidi bum bum bim bum bidi bidi bum bidi bum bidi bidi bum bim bum.
They're actually giving challenges by creating their own tunes. Okay, so we've now seen this. So the last one was body percussion, and I hope you all enjoyed. And then we'll take one more poll over here before we go on to the last game. Yeah. Yeah, so again, which were the areas covered in the body percussion game? Systematic counting, or I hope you all can relating numbers
to quantity, simple arithmetic, patterns, shapes and spatial understanding, positioning and locating.
Lots of answers coming in. A large percent takes the patterns, of course, very good. Okay. Great. Yeah, patterns is getting, yeah. Awesome. Okay, Raji, you want to? There's a huge overriding of, so the correct answer clearly is patterns, simple arithmetic and systematic counting.
Yes.
And these are the three skills, essential three skills that are covered in through this game, right? So now we'll go on to the last, and we'll watch the children crunching some data along with their nuts. So let's see what they do. So this is money market.
We are playing the market game. and I am the customer, and Spandana will shopkeep it.
Here in this play, we are not using real money. We are using paper cutouts, circle, square, and triangle. The circle shape is number 5 rupees. The triangle is 1 rupees. The square is 20 rupees. In my shop, there is one teddy bear, Barbie set, and candies, and vegetables, and talking Tom, and Barbie set.
I want a Barbie set.
Barbie set is 50 rupees, maybe.
50 rupees. Okay. I'm giving you a 1 square. I'm giving you 5 squares.
5 square will be 100 rupees, maybe.
1 minute. Yeah.
But this is 50 rupees, right?
1 minute. Okay, I will give you 10 squares. I'm giving you 2 squares and 2 circles.
Okay.
Okay. And I want a talking Tom.
Okay. Give me 40 rupees then for the talking Tom.
Okay. I'm giving you 2 squares.
What?
2 squares.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the market game. We couldn't record too much of it because of lack of time, but I'm sure you understand. And this is a game which is hugely popular among children as well as teachers. Actually, they love to play this game and haggle with each other about how less they want to pay for 1 kg aloo and 1 kg potato and things like that. So it's really fun. So now let's just go to the poll. So I think the poll needs to, oh, it's already answered. Oh, wonderful. Some people have already answered. Which are the areas? Yeah. Money is clearly, yeah. Right. Yeah. Great. I mean, lots of inputs in all areas. Yes, it can be used for number recognition. Absolutely. We've done this also. And it's wonderful when children play these games and you actually see them play with peers and learn. Because, you know, somebody who doesn't know money and then can attribute a shape to a particular value and then play around with it. Awesome. Yeah. So clearly a huge number is there. So the correct answer, I mean, there's no one correct answer, but the fact is the game was intended to cover the 3 areas of money, data, and simple arithmetic. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating. And now that you witnessed the children playing and you acknowledged that these are the learning areas that can be covered by these games. Surely you would like to try some, I'm sure, with your children in school or online, however. Now, to make it easier for you, what we have done is we've designed some pedagogical tools which can be used before we start embarking on this journey of playing the games with the children. Because it's very important that, we play the game right. We don't want to do play this all over again and then, recognize after 5 years that, oh, we didn't do this right. So we had to work with a lot of experts to come up with these games, and I'll explain to you later what we did. But right now, we would like to introduce to you our accessible learning management systems, and I'll hand it over to Sylvia to do this.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sylvia Veeraraghavan, and I play the role of a program director at Vision Empower. Today, I will be talking to you about our accessible learning management system that we call Subodha. So just to give you a brief background, the students with visual impairment learn differently, as many of you would already know. Hence, it's important for us to use material and activities that are completely accessible to them. There's a dire need for such resources that can be used by the teachers and by the students. Resources that would help empower the teachers and in turn, which would help them to educate their students. Vision Empower strives to provide such accessible resources for teachers and for students with visual impairments. And as all of you would know, in the present state of having to social distance, sharing of resources has been difficult. And hence, there is a reason that we need Subodha today. So what is Subodha? Subodha is our online platform where we have all resources which are accessible for students with visual impairment and for their educators. So what really makes Subodha unique? So the most important thing is not just is the content accessible, and all the content that is built is being specifically made sure that it is accessible for all the VI persons, but the platform itself, Subodha as a platform itself, is built keeping usability and the needs of the visually impaired person in mind. We've also tried to overcome language barriers by including support for many regional languages in Subodha. So today, if you look at Subodha, we have Bangla, Kannada, Hindi, Tamil, English. These are some of the languages that we currently have in Subodha. So with this, I would now like to move forward to a product demo. So what you see now is the Subodha login page, and these credentials, everybody can log into Subodha, and it's a free for all system, a learning management system that's available. But we would give you the login credentials that you would need to log into the system. So once you have logged into the system, you will first be taken to the dashboard. And since this is the first time that you would be logging in, your dashboard would obviously be empty. So if you go to the Explore Courses and click on the Explore Courses tab, it would take you to the screen where all the different subjects that are currently available on Subodha will be displayed to you. So I'm going to be clicking on the games computational thinking to give you a view of the games that are already been uploaded on Subodha. So currently we have 45 different games which have been uploaded on Subodha across the different levels. So the first level that we're going to be talking about is the level 1 CSpathshala for teachers. And under this, we would look at the different skills and the sub-skills that would be available for each of the different levels and for each of the different skills. So if you look at the first one, which is systematic counting, counts and understands systematic listing. So this would be the first one. And these are the different games that would ensure that the child is understanding systematic counting. So these are the different games that are available using which these the skill and the sub-skill can be understood by the visually impaired student. So I'm going to add all these courses to my dashboard. So now I have been enrolled into all these courses, and you will need to do something similar to get enrolled into the courses. And now if you go to your dashboard, all the different courses that you have been enrolled into would come up on your screen. So I'm going to be clicking on one particular game so that you get an understanding of how these games are, how the play plans are, and give you an understanding of the template that we are currently using for the play plans. So if you look at the card game 0 play plan, right up front, you have the game overview and then the basic rules for play. And below that, you have the various sessions that are there in the play plan. So, so what this exactly means is that every session increases the complexity of the game. And so the session 2 would be a little more complex session than the session 1. And session 3 would be a little more complex than the session 2. And the basic rules for play would actually tell you the different materials that would be required, the prerequisites, and the number of children who will be playing the game, and what the objective of the game is. So you could press the next button to actually go into the details of every session and understand exactly how the game needs to be played with the child to ensure that the child is picking up the concepts that are required for the particular skill. So this is how the play plan looks. And as I said, there are more than 45 play plans which have already been uploaded onto Subodha. And any of you who are interested, we'll be happy to give you all credentials, and you all could explore the system by yourselves and go through these play plans and share with us any of your thoughts that you would like to share with us. Thank you.
So, thank you for this presentation, and for the participants, there's just one, before we close the session, there's the first part of the session. There's one poll on Subodha. Now that you have seen Subodha, there are just 2 questions. You can take a poll, and then we will take the break. So the poll question will come up on your screen now. Would you like to use VE Subodha to play the CT games with your children, with your students? Okay. Okay, that's very encouraging. And then you can go on to the next question, maybe, Raji. So after this workshop, would you be interested in creating some activities which are accessible, some games which are accessible? Would you be interested? Okay, okay. Okay. A lot of people on the chat window are saying yes. That's very encouraging. Great. So quite a large number of you are interested in making accessible games. That's very interesting and encouraging, because surely to make inclusive education a reality, we need many more people to be in this bandwagon. So thank you so much. I think this has given us a great insight. And we will take our 15-minute break now. Sonia, is that correct? And then we come back, right?
Yeah, the break was at 4:15. We still have little time if you would like to.
Okay, so
add
yeah,
something.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Small addition. Some of the participants are asking for a link to the URL of
Subodha. Yeah, we can give the link, Professor Meenakshi. Only thing is they will require credentials which we have to give them. So it's free, but we will give them the credentials. So we can certainly post the link here, and then Raji or
the page would say how they could get the credentials.
Yeah, and then we can also share. You can just send an email to this. I'm just typing up an email ID here, and you will be provided with the login ID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Meenakshi, if there are any quick questions right now before people forget before the break,
yes,
maybe
that's also
we can
fine.
take a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we have time for questions.
Yeah, that's the Subodha link which Anshuman has posted. You can take a look at it, but to log in, you would require something which you can send a mail to Vision Empire Trust with a request, and we will come back to you with your login ID. Yes, Professor. Any questions you can take for a few minutes?
Yeah, feel free to post your questions if you have any in the chat box. I'll read it out to the speakers. Or if you would like more information, like some of you wanted the URL, any other query that you might have towards them, most welcome. So, Sonia, the break at 4:15 is for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Meenakshi, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
While we are waiting, maybe I can ask a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about your experience in working with teachers, teachers of visually impaired children. Can you please say something about that as well? And because you've been,
Yeah, so yeah, thank you for asking. I think it's a very, very important, very pertinent question, because I will be sharing with you our experience through the pilot. And one of the very important findings in our race about the research. In fact, when we began, like I told you, we began with science and math, and there itself we found that of course most of these children are in the special schools, and more than 80% of the teachers are themselves blind, right? So because of that, and they themselves have not studied this subject beyond grade 7. And so for them to come up with innovative ways to teach was quite far-fetched to expect. So, so certainly our experience, but what we found though is that, and which was very encouraging, is that when we went to the schools, we found that the teachers are very willing to, learn new things or find new ways to connect with the children. And the children, for one thing, is in these schools, in the special schools for the blind, while, yes, they stop studying science and math in class 7, but they really adore their teachers. They love their teachers, they want to be with them, they want to learn from them. They have a very good equation with their teachers, most of these special schools. And that was very encouraging because we really felt that that could be the one, probably plus point where, anything that you wanted to, maybe these teachers could help us do. So that was one thing. And of course, in the, when we moved from offline to online because of COVID, again, there were a lot of findings about the teachers. And yeah, we can share those with you in the after break.
Yeah, there's one more question from Sri Ranjani Ranganathan in the Q&A box. The question reads as follows. I was wondering if you could comment on the role of language in the building of computational thinking skills in children with visual impairment, especially in the context of designing learning environments.
Right. So yes, this is again a very, very pertinent. And as you would have recognized that when we built Subodha, the first thing one of the critical requirements was to make it available in all languages that we could. So basically right now it is available in 5 languages. So all our play plans, you can actually eventually see, you will eventually be able to see it in all the local languages, because I think it's very important, because as you noticed in the games that we were playing, we needed to communicate with the child in their mother tongue, because you cannot expect to play the game in English and every child to be able to pick up. So even in the mother tongue it was difficult, because one skill which we found lacking in children, and I don't think this is related only to children with visual impairment. I think this is a common problem which has been identified across the country. Reading comprehension skills are very poor in primary age group, right? And so, but then within the visually impaired community, that's even more pronounced, because they come to school with a huge gap, one thing. And then when they start school, there is what we call a book famine. So the content that a child should read at an age appropriate level is missing. And so they don't read at their grade appropriate level. And so by the time they're in grade 5, it doesn't matter which language. So you could be in most of these schools, by the way, special schools are state-run schools. So all the schools come under the Ministry of Social Justice, and they are run by the state, and they come under the state syllabus. And most of them follow, the vernacular of the state. So it's very important that to come up with the learning, computational thinking learning environment along with the current school curriculum. That was a great finding for us also. And therefore, right at the start, we ensure that we engage with the children in their mother tongue. For example, as you saw in Kerala, the children were playing in Malayalam. They were calling out to each other, playing, and they were having so much fun. The same doesn't happen unless you are so comfortable in that language. So that was a revelation, and yes, we are striving to make sure that everything is available in the local language.
Yeah, thank you, Supriya. One more question from Kritika Krishnamurthy. She says she's curious to know the nature of materials and resources that you used.
Right. So they're very, again, a very critical thing. So if you see before, so first let's just go back to, what kind of materials do we use for either whether it's game or whether it's any concept you want to teach, because you need to compensate for their visual impairments, because you need to give them the skills that they need, the concepts they need to pick up through different sensory mechanisms. So the materials need to cater to those. So it could be touch, it could be hearing. So, the rest of the other sensory mechanisms need to be used. And of course, it's very important that we, when we are saying all the rest, so if it's tactile, but again, just giving a tactile diagram or, just creating a tactile out of what is there in the maybe textbook is not enough. This is what we found, because there has to be what you can call a grammar to it, right? The child has to recognize what is it. So if you give them a picture and the child doesn't know whether they're holding it upside down or, laterally inverted, right? So you have to tell them how to hold the picture so that they know which is the top and which is the bottom. So it begins right there. And then going forward, the different kinds of textures that you use so that they can differentiate between different things, or say shapes. So I'll give you a very small example in this regard. So we, as you know, we collaborate with many partners who are experts in children's education for the content. So say, for example, I give you an example of Jodogyan. So Jodogyan is a very well-researched, has a very well-researched set of tools, pedagogical tools, which they use for children. And one of them, say, is the Ganit Mala. So in the Ganit Mala, you can do so many things using the Ganit Mala. And you have these 10 white, 10 red, 10 white, 10. Now, if we wanted to use the same thing for our students, it was not possible, even though it was such an interesting tool, because they're not seeing the colors, right? And the balls are all of the same. So our educational coordinators came up with something very innovative. What they did, the 10th ball of the mala has been made bigger and the texture has been made different. So now the child knows where is the, every 10th beat. And then they can do the same thing. And of course, in Ganit Mala, you have the marker. So you can use the marker to place and play the game. So similarly, so this is an example, and like that, we've improvised on several other tools as well.
Yeah, thank you. I think there are a lot of questions. They came in the chat window. So maybe we'll take two, and if Supriya can stay on and answer the questions during the break.
I'm sure. I'll be glad to, Professor.
Yeah, so there's a question from Devi Shri who asks how to make these games using any graphics tool for such students.
Okay, so graphics tools. So the thing is, if you just, without tactile, just a graphic tool, I'm not sure exactly what kind of tools we are talking about, but yes, there are certain tools. So there is, for example, a software called Tactile View. So Tactile View is a software which we use extensively for the textbooks as well as for now or going forward for CT, of course, a lot. So using Tactile View, you can draw the picture in that using that tool, and then you can export it to Duxbury. Duxbury is the software which is used for printing Braille. And so you can print it and import it into Duxbury and then print it using a Braille embosser. So that is one kind of graphics tool which you can use to print the tactile diagrams. There is another tool from Enability Foundation called the Tactograph. The Tactograph, Professor Anil Prabhakar from IIT Madras, it's his invention. And that comes with a software. That's a graphics tool. So all you have to do is scan the picture, and then when you see the picture on your screen, what you need to do is you need to go and identify the outline or what you want to actually get printed in line diagram. So you can have a 3D picture, but when it comes to a line diagram, you might want something else. So in that picture, you do that. And then just like how we used to use plotters earlier, so this can be printed using the Tactograph, which actually uses a very low cost, way to print. Using Fevicol actually, and we use Fevicol and different colors and print tactile diagram. So this is one. Similarly, RLF, the Raise Lines Foundation in Delhi at Assistic Delhi, they have come up with a tool with which they create diagrams, and we have used many of their diagrams. So yeah, there are many such tools also, graphics tools, but with the perspective of eventually being able to create a comprehensible tactile diagram.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe one last question we'll take from Geeta. What are the challenges faced by the teachers?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's
a long, probably a long answer.
Yeah, that's a very long, but I'm sure there are two. If I can break it down into two parts, yeah. So, teachers who are sighted, first of all, just like all of us who are sighted, who took time to understand, forget about the challenges, even the capabilities of the children, right? Challenges many people can understand, and we actually take a stance after we recognize their challenge. We feel that okay, this is too difficult for them. But what we really need to recognize as teachers, and that is where the larger challenge is, that to understand their capabilities, what is it that they can do, and then to leverage on their capabilities to be able to say, for example, for computational thinking, as you would have recognized in the games, that we were certainly there were many challenges, but you can see how the children were overcoming. So the Pebbles game, for example, so when we train the teachers, during the sessions, we ask them to actually come to the training with these pebbles, and these pebbles are not always stones. I mean, these could be rajma beans, or anything at home, basically. So and then to be able to use those and then differentiate on shape, size, and everything else. And we have to recognize that there's also a huge population of low vision children in this country. And for them, color is very important. So it's also very important to keep that in mind. Usually what happens is, when a child is low vision, they are admitted to the schools for the blind because they cannot cope up in the regular school. And there they have a problem with, because they are not always ready to jump into Braille and, everything else. And they don't need to actually, because the teachers should be able to handle low vision differently. But this is a challenge. This is a big challenge which teachers have, because in the schools, in the special schools for the blind, you have teachers handling, a mixed group, just like every other school. So you have children with different kinds of skills, and at the same time, you have each child with a different kind of visual impairment. And therefore, it's very important. So what we have called individualized education plan, that becomes again very important, because the teacher needs to know the child very well and to be able. So that is a challenge which I don't know how many teacher trainings really cater to that as much. So this is one. Other than that, of course, one other big challenge that the teachers face, and they keep telling us about it, is the lack of books, the lack of material, lack of pedagogical, tools which can be used in the classroom, etc. Which, more than actually a lack, there is a lack of awareness about what exists. So that is where I think is a bigger challenge.
Yeah, thank you, Supriya. Just one last request. One teacher has asked if you could send the name of the graphic tool that you talked about in the chat box.
Oh, sure. I'll just put it.
Yeah, so since we are running slightly late, we'll take a very short break and reconvene at 4:30 sharp for part 2 of this workshop. Thanks all.
They may need a break, no? I mean, Supriya might need a break.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe
So
10
much.
minutes if she wants, and so it's her call.
We will come back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
ये देखो टेस्टिलेशंस गणित माला ये डाइस जोड़ो ज्ञान वंडरफुल
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you have questions, I could take 1 or 2 more questions. I'm perfectly all right with that also.
Yeah, I think, there's one last question you could probably ask. Priyanka Thakur is asking, that is a wonderful work that you're doing. What motivated you to get into this field?
Oh yeah, that's a question. I think that's again a million. people ask, and I think the motivation was Vidya. For those of you who haven't met Vidya, you will meet her in the next session after break. Towards the end of the session, you will meet her. Basically, she was the motivation. She was a postgraduate from the IIIT Bangalore, where I was, as Dr. Meenakshi told you, I was taking a course there. And at that time, I interacted with her, and then I was very impressed by, and not impressed with myself about the lack of my knowledge about their capabilities. And then I started working with some children. And then post that, after her graduation, Vidya, as you know, was the gold medalist. She was the topper from in her batch in 2017. And then she wanted to start something in this area. So that's when I joined her. And then both of us with Professor Amit Prakash, who is at IIIT Bangalore, who is my thesis supervisor and also Vidya's guide. And with his mentorship and with support from some other faculty members at IIIT, including Professor Meenakshi, who's been very, very supportive right from the beginning, we started this.
Yeah, thank you, Supriya. So feel free to stay back and
yeah, thank you, Meenakshi.
So we'll definitely do that. Yeah, sorry, somebody else was talking.
Yeah. So it was such a wonderful session, ma'am. What an interactive, and codings made this particular session very interesting and very exciting, and a lot of research scope I find in this particular work. So that was really interesting one. So thank you very much, ma'am Supriya and her team, and also Professor Meenakshi. So now, before we shortly begin with our second session, just to remind you that we would like to we are organizing one cultural program on 2nd October after the conference. So interested attendees, they are requested to send their details to Mrs. Swati Sumesh. You would be seeing the details on the screen. You can contact on the numbers. So if any interested teachers want to showcase their talent in dance forms, any singing, they want to give shairi, they want to perform it. So we have a very limited seats. So hurry up! You want to give the registrations by tomorrow. So there are few hours in life that are more agreeable than the hours dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. So after this workshop, we are going to have this Chai Pe Charcha. Please stay online with us. Let us have some poll questions now. Chai. Can we have poll questions on the screen? Yeah, excited. So I'm sure the attendees are very excited. The questions are, how do you feel to be back again? Are you excited, sad, tired, or happy? What do you find scariest? And another question is, which of this would be hardest to live without? Chocolate, music, your favorite drink, your phone, or TV streaming?
Chocolate. I love chocolate, but I don't eat. And coffee,
I'm sure most of you must have done your poll.
happy.